Hello and welcome everyone in another episode of Researcher Celebrity. Today we have Mr. Kamel Abbad with us. A brief introduction of Kamel. He has done his bachelor's in computer sciences and master's in security system informatics. Currently, he is a PhD student in cybersecurity at IoTs, and all of this education he has done at Normandie University, Caen, France. With this brief introduction, I'll say thank you so much, Mr. Kamal, and taking time out for this conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Raja. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. And we always start our conversation that how and when you decided to become a researcher.
Well, for me, honestly, it was something that I never thought about it, or like I would say never was in one of my goals to achieve them. So it was actually like started in my last year of my master degree when I was doing like my internship. Since I had my professor, he was the one who was supervising me in that internship. So I think he was the one who saw something on me that I didn't maybe see then. So he was the one who encouraged me. Actually, he did ask me more than once to do PhD with him. I did refuse, I think, at least twice, saying that I don't want to do PhD. And like I think he was a wise professor. Because I'm not saying that because he's my supervisor, but like he was so patient. He told me, take your time, don't stress out, just think about it. Even though I thought about it twice, I was still hesitating. I didn't want that. But at the last time I did agree. So I think that's because of my professor. Actually, he was the one who did encourage me to take this step. He was saw something maybe only, as I said, but I'm still trying to understand in these 3 years why. But like the more I feel starting finishing my PhD, the more I understand my professor why he told me that you need to do PhD because I think I don't give up. Like I always try, and he was like the one who saw that on me and did encourage me. Yeah, yeah. I think that's because of my professor.
Mhm. That's a great start. Like acknowledging the mentors is so important. And one thing we know that no matter how successful or how long your career is in research, the mentors always play these roles. And in some cases, what we have seen in our researcher celebrity conversation, that it starts from early school days when somebody has, recognized something in you, as you mentioned, that your supervisor recognized. And with those all hesitations, like you denied the offer twice and the third time you were not able to. So let's start with this first step, that when your professor was sure that they are ready to mentor as a mentee, what were the things which kept you what made you unsure that you should do it or not, and then that's the reason why you denied it?
To be honest, the biggest point or thing that I had in my mind to do PhD, you need to be like an Einstein or you need to be like an Elon Musk, like super genius or super smart. But that's one of the things that I said, oh no, I'm not that. I think I'm just gonna go with the engineer stuff. You have a list, you have like routine. I was like maybe going to the conference or safe zone. I thought that anyone who want to do a PhD should be had thought about it since he was children or like child young, and he had like that ultimate goal to be a professor, and then he need to pass by research. I never thought about it, but after being 3 years, almost like this is my last year in PhD, I think you don't need that. You just the most important thing you need is just to be the capability to question yourself, don't give up, try always to find solution. That's the most important thing. You don't need to be smart, genius, or like an Einstein. You just need to have that the power that you don't give up from the first second and you always search, try. And even though if you have found something, it doesn't need to be perfect because you can make it perfect with time. So that's the thing. I had that's like a wonderful dream, or not dream, like word of PhDs it equal like equals of genius. Only genius can get that. So I think that was the something that I was afraid of, honestly.
Okay. And I think that is very true in recent world when we have seen some of the young brains, brilliant researchers, when they question themselves that, am I good enough? And that's where this term of imposter syndrome, I think it lives in every human being, researchers are no exception to it. They always question that, do I belong here or not? I don't think I'm meant for this part. But once you said that, once you commit to it and then you start exploring, and understanding of research makes it better all the time and every time. And yes, for all the audience, I can say that you don't have to be Einstein or super genius. The one of the parameters and ingredients, as Mr. Kamel mentioned, is the perseverance. You should not be ready to give up. That is the first commitment you should do. And we will talk about the following challenges. So whenever, like in your case, it was not the case that you were offered a PhD and you accepted it. No, you denied it twice, and then the third time you're like now doing it, enjoying the journey. But in most of the cases, what we have seen, that when a student is joining PhD, they have no ideas what they're gonna do after that. Okay, so now you mentioned you are already at the edge of completion of your degree. So let's start with what are your future plans, and then we will take a step back to discuss the PhD journey.
Well, actually, that's a hard question because I believe every PhD by the end of their PhDs, or at least at the middle, they're gonna question themselves what I'm gonna do after this. Should I go to academics, become a professor, going to the industries, R&D departments? Honestly, for me, I'm trying still to respond to that question. I'm not 100% sure about it. For now, what I know that I wanna go little bit more to the industry because since like you said, Mr. Raja, we always trying to question ourselves, am I good enough? Did I give enough? Did my solution they are gonna try to change something, added value, added something to this world? So I'm not sure quite a bit what I'm gonna do, but I'm feeling that I want to go a little bit maybe to the RIB. So I'm gonna still be a researcher, obviously, because I really loved it, even though I never thought about it that I'm gonna love it. But I'm gonna keep researching because I love those challenges that every day, or every time, every subject, every problematic, there is new something, and you're gonna be one of the first people, the first researchers to go upon them and raise them. So for sure, I'm gonna still becoming a researcher, but maybe it's gonna be more into the industry part. I'm not sure about it, but that's why I'm having at least now half an answer of that question.
I think that's good enough to have that inclination, and with this open-mindedness and having some path in there, it is good to complete your PhD and then join the industry. Good luck for that. But now let's take the step back. Since you started your PhD and over the period of 3 years, it might sound very less for most of the people who are listening to this conversation, because what we have seen, and this is true globally, that the PhDs can be as long as 7 or 8 years. As long as, like, we have seen a few of them going on. You, from your start up until now, how you like this journey and the experiences you want to share with our audience.
Honestly, the thing that I never thought about it is that the more I'm becoming arriving to the end of my PhD, the more I love it, the more I wanna keep going more on it. But unfortunately, you cannot done it like unlimited time. You need to finish that sometime. But the thing that I did love about it, honestly, to be honest, the people that I have met, like when you meet a lot of people in the research. The thing that I really loved it, like in our lab, for example, many places that have met people, the people they tell me every time, if you have a solution or if you have proposed something, you are never wrong. Like all the answers that are correct. So I really loved the mindset of the researchers of what they are surrounding me. There is never wrong in answers. Like everyone gonna see your answer or your solution or your mindsets or your ideas at some point, like at some angle. So that's something that I really love the mindset of researchers in our labs and I think that sometimes the more they do their PhD the mindset he become being built differently. I think they have really different way of thinking. They are so wise. You become wise with them. So I think that's one of the things that I really loved it in the journey, that there is no wrong answers, no wrong ideas, just an idea. So that's
Mhm.
one of the top things that I really loved it. Like you will never feel someone gonna say, "Oh, that's a stupid idea. Oh, that's so wrong. Oh, you have thought it from the beginning so wrong." No, like everyone, like they see something in every idea, a possibility of something, and that's
Mhm.
really so great. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Having that network, the like the environment where you're working, that supportive environment is also one of the challenges in researchers amongst researchers. That how in some of the places people have experienced toxic environment, which absolutely you have not, and you are wonderful having that environment where everyone is supporting you, encouraging you to keep on going and moving it, which is very good. Having the support from the peers is one of the ingredients. What we always say, that whenever you are deciding to join a group, these things should be on your top priority. That what are the things which you are looking for? Either it is the approachability of your supervisor, and then the environment inside the group, how it works and dwells well. Because as you said, that you grow with them, and like together, it's a team activity, as we say. So, Mr. Kamel, you talked all wonderful things up until here, correct? How about the challenges? Like when you are hitting a wall over and over again, when you realize that you might have felt burnout, how you dealt with it, and based on your experience, what you can share with our audience, that how they can either avoid it or rejuvenate themselves after those burnouts.
Well, I think in every PhD, every PhD student, I think at some point they gonna think about dropping off their PhD. I was one of them at the middle of my PhD just before. I think that was last year, approximately the same time as we are doing this interview. So it was. I had this idea of I wanna drop it. And in France, the statistics says that at least like 50%, like half of the PhD students, they drop their PhDs. I even had a friend of mine sometimes who was thinking like daily that they want to stop and stuff. I think, like we said previously, one of the major powerful points, you need to have really good friends because, like, for me, my supervisor and especially my friends, like postdocs, friends, PhDs that were in our lab, there was the even my parents, my friends, like, there was the ones who were trying every time to just push me a little bit, push me to bit to not think about it every day. And like I think in every part of this life there are gonna be challenges. So you cannot just drop whatever problem you have at the first step, you drop it. Otherwise the life doesn't gonna start it at all. But yeah, I have thought about it at least twice. And I believe like at that time I had my mentor like period time to come to United States at Texas University to do my PhD research path there. And my supervisor, I remember it from that. I called him. I told him I want to drop it. I don't want to go even to United States to do my research there. Just I got enough. Like I don't want to keep at like that's too much for me. And I remember he told me, look, don't think too much about it. Go to USA, do your research there, meet new people, meet a new team, and then come back, and then we're gonna talk. So I think I had little bits of chance, like you said, supervisor was like more than intelligent to know how to deal with it. So yeah, I think everyone had part of small idea to drop it. I would say like don't worry about it. Everyone think about it at least once. Really, I believe that at least once. It doesn't mean you are the only one in that situation. You are not alone. Like you are not the first PhD in this history. You are not going to be the last one. Everyone thought about it, and everyone after you're going to think about it. Just it's small obstacle. Just keep up. Takes break time. That's really important. That the culture in France, people they like to take a lot of breaks. I think that's why they are trying not to drop a lot because they think they take breaks a lot. So they every time you think about it, just take a break, go out from the lab, do something new, adventure, travel, I don't know, go somewhere, take a break because like once you go back, you're gonna have that fresh air, fresh ideas. That's gonna keep you up as and on. And remember, it doesn't mean if you didn't like find a solution or something. The PhD is not only about technical, it's even about your personality. You're gonna grow, like you said, Mr. Raja. You're gonna be more mature in your mind. So it's not small part. Think about the big view. Yeah, like that's the most important part. Yeah.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned, PhD, we discuss in these conversations that it's not only a degree, it's a transformation of you as a human being. It's not the same person who joined the PhDs who get awarded. They change it, like their thought process, the way they approach towards the problem, the troubleshooting, and whatnot. All absolutely correct. But now you mentioned that there are like almost around 50% dropouts in France, and we have seen that this is increasing day by day. And on a global note, people want to do PhD, but because of the situation, circumstances, sometimes challenges, but most of the times which I have seen is like if they have a support system in there, active support system, like as you mentioned, either you can talk to your supervisor, your family, your friend, taking those breaks. All of this needs, first of all, acknowledging that you are at this edge where you do not want to pursue. Or if you are deep researcher enough, then you know that what are the problems which are making you or driving you away from the PhD. Because acknowledgement is the first step. Once you know what are the problems, then you can probably, by talking to everyone among your system or the people you want to, can get a solution for that. But if you do not acknowledge it and you think, no, I'm going to do it no matter how, and then that's when we have seen the people end up being burned out and losing everything, whatever they have earned. So, how they should be vigilant for themselves as well as their peers in the group, as you mentioned, that you have seen some people around when they are not doing that, how these young researchers, PhD students, should approach this problem.
Well, honestly, I think in PhD, a lot of PhD student, the mistake they do it is that they try to achieve the perfection, and they wanna achieve something so big, and that's even wrong because they're gonna suffer themselves and like blame themselves because I wanted this. Like one of the things I would say, or even give it to me, like if I get 1 year back, like at least acknowledge the things that you have accomplished until now. You did learn new stuff. That's impossible to be a PhD student at least one day, and you didn't learn one thing or you didn't learn from one mistake. So it doesn't mean if you have thought about it that you have done nothing. If you just take one paper or like and you're gonna write the small stuff and all the problems you have faced, the whole thing that you have learned, or all the conferences or the workshops or even maybe the summer schools you have, like it doesn't, like if you account them, you're gonna see that you have learned a lot of stuff. So don't just take all what you have lived and drop them and say, oh, I'm not. No, you need to understand that it's going to be break by break, small by small, idea by idea, achieve small steps to get the bigger image. So if you get just past and check what you have done, you're gonna have that smile from your face. So, oh yeah, yeah, I have done some stuff quite a bit. I wasn't just sitting around doing nothing. So that's gonna be one of the mistakes I have done. Like I just, even though I have published one paper on my first year, like I said, oh, that is not enough, and I have should do more. But no, no, you have done something that's even more than perfect. Like at least be acknowledge that you have done something, you have learned many things, as we said, not only technicals but all other levels. So I believe we should process it small by small and just get that back, and you're gonna see that you have done a lot of stuff. You're gonna be so proud of you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think having that sense of acknowledgement, achieving those things, it cannot be just all your experiment worked. But if you start thinking about it, that the way you have troubleshoot something, the new skill you have developed, these are all the things which you are collecting during your PhD for the rest of your life. So that's a training. It's not just one experiment or one publication or nothing like that. You should also take time to acknowledge yourself that what all you have achieved, what all you have learned, and where you are struggling. How you can do that is either talking to your supervisors. And now, in this world of technology, we can talk to anyone in this world within a short period of time. So I believe that is also very helpful. So now, talking of all of this, how about when now this community, as researchers globally, we are talking about work-life balance, mental health of PhD students, based on your experience, what you can share and help our students who are going through that tough phase right now.
Well, I would say that's one of the things I have done it in my first year, like trying to stay late hours, try to do a lot of things in short of period of time. I remember one of the first days with my lab, our supervisor saw us working like late at the night, and then he told us, "You guys have a life. Try to go out, do some tennis, sport, football, live a little bit. You're gonna go back tomorrow, and the lab is gonna be still here, and you're gonna work. Don't worry about it." So the love is not going to be like vanish tomorrow. So I think they need to go with like the life. The period of PhD is gonna pass so fast, either 4, 5, 6 years. It's gonna be like 6 days. So imagine having 6 years or 5 years of doing only work. Where that's almost 10 years from your life. You need to live it with it. Like honestly, for me, I had a really great balance. Like I have traveled a lot, I have met a lot of amazing people. I have like the conferences sometimes. Like if I had a 2 days conference, like next week I'm gonna go to Glasgow for IEEE conference that we had. So I'm gonna stay 2 extra days just to visit a little bit the Great Britain there. So I believe that you need to take it half and half, like half work well, and little bit for yourself, because after all, you're a human being. Like you're not like some robots. Like you need to enjoy a little bit. So I think if you and even I have noticed that on me, especially the first year. Sometimes I work for a whole week or 2 weeks of hard work, and I cannot even get one smaller results. And sometimes I work only for like 3, 4 hours, or sometimes even 1 hour, and like the things go so easily for me, and I get great results. So it doesn't mean if you work for hard for 24 hours, 7 from 7 days, doesn't mean you're gonna get great stuff, a lot of stuff at all. Sometimes our brain is just when you do for him small work, he's gonna give you lovely results and even great results with no mistakes, with no errors. But sometimes I think people they need to understand that even try it, just try it once. If it doesn't work, you're gonna see obviously it's gonna work because it couldn't be not working. But at least try to have that balance to live, because after all, as I said, it's a life. So you need to live with it and work with it, because you're not here only to work, work, work. Like that's impossible. That's impossible, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think this is the role of rejuvenation, as you mentioned, that sometimes you're working 7 days a week and in a row more than 1 week, you are not getting the things. But you realize that after taking a small break, having those quality time with friends or with family, you come back, do the same thing, and now that thing has given you the results, the what you were looking for, which was not working before. So this says, and these are all those points which you should be very careful about, that these are the symptoms when you are really going through that burnout phase where you need this break, rejuvenate yourself, and then come back again and see everything is working. Because one thing which we know in research, as most of the times it do not go the way we think or the hypothesis we come up with. And that is the beauty of it. Sometimes the biggest discoveries coming when a hypothesis fails. So never marry a hypothesis. This is for all the PhD students who are doing it now, that there might be chances that the hypothesis won't work, but then that is the result which you communicate with your community, and then now somebody, you are saving someone else's time so that they don't end up doing the same thing and publish the same thing. So these are things. Now, talking of the publications, you mentioned that in first year you got one publication. Okay, that is like for some of the PhDs in life sciences where you have a lot of wet lab work. That's like the whole thesis. They have one or two, and then they are done. Having these different technologies, how do you based on your experience when you have traveled all in these different conferences, that there is no benchmark or a golden rule for a PhD student about their publications, like how should they do that? But based on your experience, what you will say that our PhD students should aim towards their publications?
Well, actually, I think like I believe in PhD, as you said, sometimes there is PhD they publish only once, like at least one paper, and I believe like after finishing my almost my PhD, I believe if you get one paper done, very well worked and very well structured, and like you have great idea and you have done it and publish it, better billions times than having 10. Look, it's impossible to have 10, but like multiple papers. I wish sometimes I had like someone who told me like go slowly and do great idea, really have a potential better than doing multiple ideas or changing just sometimes like parameters and stuff to get just published. I don't believe in that thing that's like publish or get published, because sometimes it's gonna rush you and gonna put your stress a lot on you. You're gonna have like you're gonna have large quantity. You don't gonna have quality. So, honestly, I believe if you could have really one great idea, work on it slowly, and you're gonna understand that every details, every corner of that paper is much better, like with billions times than having multiple papers, and like you understand just like small parts or superficial, like just you didn't get deeper. So. That's a lot of pressure, a lot of PhDs that, oh, I need to do this, that's that journal conference, that. Yeah, honestly, at the end of the thing, I believe that was the exhausted of thinking so many times, like overthinking, you need to that. Even though it's great because of sometimes when you get a lot of papers, you can travel, but still, honestly, it's not that worth it because it's just gonna overthinking. You're gonna have a lot of stuff in your mind. Having one is better than having multiple. Honestly, that's the thing that I could give. It doesn't mean, honestly, it doesn't mean if you see someone that have multiple papers, don't get jealous. If you have, you're gonna question him. Sometimes maybe you're gonna feel just you have one idea, one paper, and is much deeper, much powerful. So don't get jealous. Don't get tricked when you see other people they have love, because sometimes people that just collaborate doesn't mean they have been on all every detail of that paper. You have
Mhm.
your own path, you have your own PhD, it's your own project. Don't compare yourself with others. It's most important thing is that you are doing your PhD at the right place, right time, right ideas, right methodologies, all of that. Better than comparing yourself and say, oh, that other one have done this, he was there. Don't compare yourself. That's the worst thing. Is gets you're gonna just get depressed. Everyone have his own path. You have your own path. Every path is perfect. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think this is a great advice to everyone who start comparison. We all know that comparison is the thief of joy. All of us knows that, but somehow because of our human behavior, we have to keep a check on it that compare we should not compare ourselves no matter, because everyone has their own race and there is no race actually. Talking of collaborations, which is also an important point, that there should be some collaborations. As a PhD student, you are doing your main project or probably more than one in some cases, what we have seen. And also then these collaborations tell you how to work in a group as a team, because these are the skills which nobody mentions about it, the soft skills. But when you are looking for your future job, either it is a postdoc or joining the industry, they seek these, that how good of a team player you are. Because no matter how independent researcher you were in your PhD and will be in your future, you always have to work with a team. It's not only scientific, it's about administration, it's about human resources, managing a lab. These are all things which nobody as a researcher get trained for, neither as a manager nor as an administrator and nothing else. But if you are learning during your PhD all of these things, this will help you in a long way. And one more important concept, people often says publish or perish. There is no, like, yes, at different stages there are challenges that as a PhD student you have to have, like, depending on the university rule, some number of publication, then only you can get awarded. And for tenure faculties, if you are just a new faculty joined, there is an immense pressure to publish to get a tenure. But trust me, if you are doing, as Mr. Kamal said, if you are doing things right, if you are enjoying what you are doing, there is no way that all these outputs will not come. There might be a difference in there, that when it comes, it can be in a month, in a year, or even sometimes longer. But you should not start taking pressure, because that is what we have seen in globally, that how especially PhD students, when they feel this pressure, they start manipulating the data. They start because they want to defend, they just do some things which are not ethical and moral. And that's why we as a community now started talking about it. There is so much of retraction increasing year by year, week by week, because of this, because somebody was under immense pressure and they were not able to handle that. So they did something which was not required. Absolutely. So acknowledging those stresses, talking to your supervisors is what you should do. Talking to your friend, let this pressure go out and then come back again, enjoy that. One thing which, if I can ask Mr. Kamel, that based on your long, like, now been 4 years in here before master's research, when you were like, okay, I want to become a researcher. At this edge of the conversation, I would like to say you have enjoyed your research journey, irrespective of degrees, like doing PhD or not doing PhD, exploring the world. How fulfilling it is for you to be in the field, and what will keep you going also.
Well, honestly, to start off, I would say if I had ever like another chance in another life to do again my PhD, I would do it because like really I did enjoy it. Like you said, Mr. Raja, the whole collaboration and like especially the soft skills. Honestly, when you talk with people, when you meet people, as I said, you get new ideas. You're gonna be more mature. Honestly, it's something that I did enjoy because like every time you're gonna have new stuff, new people, new ideas, new path, new challenges. That's the things that keep you like alive with energy and to do it. But like I think I would stay because like it's life of a researcher is like life of challenges. So every day you're gonna have a new thing. You're gonna have a purpose where you're gonna wake up in the morning and it's not like something was like stable or doesn't change at all. Like every time you're gonna have new stuff, new ideas, and you're gonna fail many times, but you're gonna when you're gonna succeed and gonna have that solution in mind, you're gonna be so proud of you that satisfaction. And like I think that satisfaction gonna it's equal like you don't gonna have that material gonna equal that satisfaction that you're gonna have at the end of your research. So that's why of the things that are keeping me, and that's why I want to keep after this the PhD to stay in the research, and especially again when you meet a lot of great people that they inspire you, they're gonna motivate you, and they're gonna push you to be the better and the best of version of you. And I think if you have arrived to that, you are so lucky. And like you're gonna keep going on that. Yeah, I think that.
Absolutely. And now these days, there is a new talk like how mentor mentee, how you are not the only one who are learning everything from your mentors. Your mentors are also learning so many things, as again going back to the soft skills, because every student walks in with a personality. And that is one thing which we say is that the PhD students and the PhD mentors, sometimes they both struggle because they are not one of the best match for each other. As in case of Mr. Kamal, he was fortunate enough to have a supervisor who worked with him together up until now and for the future from the past. But we have seen that there are these personality clashes and different reasons for it. So we also say to all the PhD students that you don't have to stick to something. If you think that it's taking a mental toll, there is nothing wrong in changing either the lab, the supervisor, or even the field if you want. Sometimes even we say that if you think at any point that PhD is not for you, there is nothing wrong in quitting, but making sure when you are quitting, what are your reasons, and will that change your personality for future also? Like we have seen quitters are not very, successful in most of their lives because they learn how to quit. And PhDs, one thing which researchers, which actually makes anyone researcher is this to stand. As we started the conversation, Mr. Kamal said, do not give up. That's where you start with. Once you are committed, you do it, and then research always hold your hand and take you to the heights wherever you want to go. At the edge of the conversation, Mr. Kamal, if you can say, based on your research experience up until now, the things which you see challenging, how turns into accomplishments based on your research experience.
Like one of the obstacles I had.
Yes.
To be honest, I did had didn't a lot of them. But
Mhm.
sometimes I think in PhD you feel lonely. But even though sometimes I don't know you are so or surrounded, you're gonna feel that you are the only one having that problem in the whole world. But sometimes the human being that are like concentrated on only on himself, they're gonna get his problem, the biggest problem in the whole world. So that's I think one of the things. It's so hard that you think you are the only one in this obstacle, the only one in that problem, and there is no one gonna understand me. There's no one gonna, he's in the same issue and the same problem that and like you said, Mr. Raj, I really loved it when you said like sometimes the PhD student, they're gonna question themselves, they wanna drop off. For me, sometimes I'm said to my other colleagues or my other friends, PhDs here, like when we are in the lab, if you feel your PhD is failed, it's the all everybody problem. You are only you are the only one who's not the problem because in the PhD, honestly, I believe that if something goes wrong, it's because of the lab or maybe the team or maybe the supervisor. Honestly, maybe they didn't support you, didn't supervise you well, or didn't help you well. But in this period of the whole PhD, like you are in the safe zone. Like whatever you do, you are safe. You are not the problem. Even if you propose a wrong idea, wrong things, it never you because like you are supposed to learn. You are supposed to do mistakes. You are supposed to explore all the ideas, even if that idea is stupid. Even though it's not stupid, it seems to you it's stupid. But even if you take that path, it seems to be wrong or it seems to be at the end of that path, there is a wall. There is nothing is completely normal, completely logic. That's why it's the PhD. Otherwise, why we have PhDs? Like, is to do something that no one have done it, no one have explored it. So never get pressed. Like like sometimes even me, I felt that I'm doing something so wrong. But still, go on it. At least now you know it's wrong, and you're gonna tell other people it's wrong, so the other people not gonna feel the same error as you. So I think that's one of the things. Like the PhD is gonna always feel I am the I'm at the edge of the world. I'm the only one. I'm depressed. No, there is a lot of people there have problems. You are not the only one. Just speak up, talk with it. Even like you said, Mr. Raja, with AI and stuff, you can get brainstorming with those tools. They're gonna help you a lot. Maybe sometimes you're so tired, he can help you out with ideas, so he can help you out. I think at this generation we are so lucky because there's a lot of tools. We have the internet and the stuff, so we are lucky. I think now PhD is becoming more and more easier because you have a lot of solution, a lot of where you go to in case you have problem. I believe the other generation was disaster maybe or hard for them to deal,
Mhm.
but with us, I think you don't have a reason to say, oh, I have obstacle. No, I can. So every problem have a solution. There is nothing. If is you didn't find anything, that's fine. As I said, you have exploited, said it, write a paper, I don't know, summary or something to let them know the others, because that's what you are here to explore things that no one have explored them. And especially this, I think that's so hard on PhDs because they forget sometimes. They are exploiting things that no one explored them. Sometimes you search on Google Scholar, you find no one have work on that. So come on, don't be harsh on you, don't be hard on you. You are the first one. Like it should be a
Yes.
feeling like the first man being in the moon. Like he was the first one.
Mhm.
So be proud of you. You are the first one exploiting. Don't get sad. Don't get upset, just deal with it. And even for other people, maybe they have bad supervisors. Like, don't take it as I said, it's still gonna be improving in your personality. Maybe it's gonna be your way of talking, so you're gonna learn how to talk, how express your ideas. Maybe your PhD doesn't have time, so you're gonna learn how to do thing like presentation, compressed and quickly. It goes directly to the point. So you're gonna learn of stuff. So even in your lab or even your friends, so you're gonna deal how you have a lot of problems, deal with them in the lab. Then you're gonna learn when you go to your life with your friends how to isolate that problem with your lab person. So nothing problem. As I said, everything you explored, everything you're gonna express if daily is plus one in your personality, and you can multiply that the whole year, how many years you do in your PhD. So, so yeah, I think is that, Mr. Raja. I don't know.
That was a wonderful wrap up. I can say for all the PhD students, especially here, that there might be challenges, there might be rough times, tough times, but it's not all on you. It's on the person, on the on the whole group you are in. On the sometimes there are challenges from the systems. So be compassionate for yourself also. You are a human being, you have a life. Things go whatever way you want to most of the times, but sometimes they go south. But that again, a researcher is what makes you different from others in this way, that you take up those challenges, you accomplish them, you do all the troubleshooting required, and then that accomplishment keeps you going on with the keeping the society in the heart, because all of researchers, no matter what is our field of expertise, but we are working to make this world a better place. With this, we'll say thank you so much, Mr. Kamel, taking time out for this conversation. To all the audience, we can say that if you want, contact Mr. Kamal. You can find him with this Google Scholar. You can find him easily. And if you want Stanford Society to put you in touch with our researcher celebrities for mentoring or for suggestions, we are there to support you. The only thing which we ask from you is, if research is your passion and if this is what makes you happy, we are there to support you in our capacity. With this said, thank you so much, Mr. Kemal, for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Raja. Thank you so much. It was so nice this time to talking with you and the exchange. Thank you.
Thank you. And to all the audience, we'll say stay tuned for another episode of Researcher Celebrity.